All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest. All right. This man is like probably one. Now, I'm not gonna say probably. I think he's like the best. He probably is gonna be like, I don't know, don't be saying that. But I think I honestly think this man is the best Dominican stand-up comedian there is right now. Maybe I'm being biased. I'm probably being biased because I've seen his special. He has a special coming out soon, November 7th, and I was there and I saw that shit for myself. So everybody, give it up for Ian Lara.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Those are very nice words. I appreciate you saying that, man.
Bro, like cool. you're my favorite, bro.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I disagree, but but thank you.
No, I'm saying my favorite.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, you can't disagree with what's my favorite, motherfucker.
Right. No, I hear you. No, you know what's crazy? When I started, and we've spoke about this off camera. When I started, bro, there was not any. There was one, maybe two.
Who was it?
It was Vlad.
Okay.
Vladimir Camaño. Yeah, he was the only one. He was the guy that was doing it like mainstream. Like when I started, he had just got a TV show with NBC. He got a pilot. Okay. It was about him and his Dominican dad being a super in a building in the Bronx.
That would have been such a great show.
They made it too. They shot the pilot, but the NBC just didn't pick it up. But yeah, he was the guy. He was like the Dominican guy that was like coming up and all, there wasn't many of us. And then I started. Now there's so many of us, which is nice. It's nice to see like.
Is there really so many of us?
I mean, compared to one.
Compared to one,
now it's a lot of people who is killing it. There's a lot of people who are doing good work out there. So compared to one, it's not compared to the white guys, but
because I feel like we could still call, like, on one hand, like the dudes that are actually doing it, like, especially like that are in the clubs, that are doing it nationally, that's been doing it for a while now. Like we got the Ida, we got Orlando Leyba, we got Vladimir. I'm in, but I'm not. I don't even see myself at that level. Because you know what I'm saying?
I know what you mean. Yeah, Ida. Well, at that time, Ida was. I think she was in L.A. But she hadn't moved from Miami yet. Yeah. So I got to know her a little later, and Orlando, he was around, but he was in L.A. and he hadn't built the traction that he had now. But like now, like you said, Ida, Orlando, Vlad, me. I mean, obviously Marcelo, who's took it to like
Marcelo is
took it to another level. So yes, it's like before compared to zero. That's
so what got, to one or two. What got you into comedy though? Like, what is it that you be like, yo, I gotta do this?
I started comedy because I enjoy. Like, actually now it's so funny because now it works backwards. Now like people start doing sketches and then they're like, I want to monetize this, so I need to tour to make the money on this. Gotcha. But I never really looked at stand up as the thing, and I was so reversed. Like I looked at stand up as a thing. Like I always thought stand up was cool. Like I always thought stand up comedy was the coolest art form. Like you just go up there, everybody's quiet, you speak into a mic, you make them laugh for an hour. I thought that was the coolest thing.
Okay, and then after that you were like, okay, where was the first club you went to? You were like, I'm gonna do this.
Broadway Comedy Club.
Oh, for
53rd,
real?
Yeah, 53rd and I think 8th Avenue.
And then you went there, you were there for a hot minute, and then afterwards, you hopped off to...
Yeah, I mean, it builds slowly. Like at first, when I first went, I went to an open mic. And I fell in love with it. I was like, I'm gonna keep coming back. So I used to keep coming back to that open mic. It was just once a week. Then you start meeting other comics who are a little bit further along. They're like, well, you got to do it more than once a week. And I'm like, well, where do I go? And you can go here, you can go there. So I was, all right, I'll go to those things. And I started doing it twice a week, then 3 times, then 4 times. And after after maybe 2 years or so, I was doing it every night.
Bruh, like real talk, like I was there in your special. The funny thing is, they sat me in the front. They sat me in front of his special. I sat in the front. Yo estaba, tú sabes qué, yo estoy aquí adelante. Y me viene una muchacha, some lady comes over
my Cedar, shout out to Makala.
She was like, you can't sit here in the front. I'm like, why? Because you're a comedian. I'm like, yeah. And I was like, no, she came up to me. She was like, are you a comedian? And I was like, yeah, I'm a comedian. And she said, oh, you can't sit here. I'm like, what do you mean? No, you're gonna have to. Ian cannot know anybody in the front row.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And well, I had this problem with my family too, because my Dominican family, they all want to sit in the front too.
Yeah.
There's 2 reasons for that.
Yeah.
The first reason is when you're doing a live show, comedians sometimes, without us trying, we are a little bit more analytical about what we're watching than a regular audience is.
Gotcha.
And it's not like hate or anything, but sometimes you're watching the art form of it. So you're just like, wow, that was genius. Like you're kind of like, I've been watching comedy where I'm like, oh, that was so cool how he tied those two together. And you're so into it in that way that you forget to laugh. Right? Because you're analyzing like
analyzing
the sport of it. You're like, man, that was a good call back there. I like how he used that tag. And you forget to laugh. So obviously we don't want nobody sitting up front row who's like analyzing. Right. And then there's the other problem where, let's say I'm killing, I'm destroying, everything is going well, and we shoot it, and then you look at the front row and it's all my family, people are gonna be like, oh, he's just performing for his family. Like, that's why he's killing this way. Because his family's in the front row. That's his sister, that's his cousin, that's his best friend. They're all laughing. That's why it sounds like that.
That makes sense.
Right.
I didn't think about it. Yeah, because I did find myself a lot analyzing. I'm like, man, that's a good joke. Like how you put two and two together. Because also you talked a lot about relationships and when a guy is broke, right? And then I remember like even going like, man, that makes sense. Like when you talk a lot about like
that's what comedians do. Like when sometimes we'll be watching comedy, which we enjoy, but we'll be like, oh, that's good. I like that angle. Yeah, why not think of that? We just for a special, we only have 2 shows to get it. Gotcha. You want to put yourself in the best position to not have to like cut stuff out or that
makes sense. Yeah. The funny thing is I was offered to do a special, right? And this was for Comedy Dynamics. And I was like, yo, listen, don't do it. You're not ready yet. And then there was a time I was contemplating. I was like, man, I should have just done that shit, right? And I came to New York and I saw that you posted that you're going to record your special. I was like, oh, I got to go there. This is a Dominican making this shit happen. This is part of the mission, right?
Right.
So I was like, I got to go over there. I got to show up. So I did whatever I fucking can. It was fucking freezing that day.
Yeah, it was. We did it December 21st. One of the coldest days of the year.
Bro, I'm coming from LA, bro. LA's warm.
Yeah.
Yo estoy aquí en un maldito viento going to see this nigga.
And shout out to everyone for the second show who waited online outside. That line was like around the block, and we were taping, so they had to wait a little while, and they still waited, and then they came inside, and they were the best audience.
And real talk though, I'm glad I went because I was like that night. I walked out, and I was like, I'm glad I didn't record my special.
That's the highest honor coming from a comedian to another comedian that you want. Like anyone, like obviously when you reach a certain level of comedy of doing it, you do enough things where like people, a comedian might be like, oh yeah, you're funny, that was funny, and you're like, thank you, I appreciate that. Like, but I've been doing this a while. Like I know I make people laugh. But when a comedian tells you, like, even like I had a conversation with Ida and other comedians who came who were like, man, I went to watch your stuff and I went back to writing. I was like, nah, I gotta tell you, that's an honor for me because I see other people do it and I think that, like,
bro, your shit was line by line, bro.
I appreciate that, bro. I've always been one of those guys who like, I don't have no time to waste. I'm not wasting nobody's time. I'm not trying to tell you no story. I'm not, it's not a one-man show. I'm trying to make sure almost everything I say is a joke.
Bro, I saw that, bro.
Yeah, like just boom,
I
boom,
was
boom,
there,
boom,
was
boom,
boom, boom, boom, boom, boom, boom. There was no dead time,
minutes,
bro.
Yeah, no dead space. For 55
no dead space, bro.
Don't get me wrong. It doesn't start off that way.
Yeah.
I get it to that point.
Yes.
Like it starts off just like everybody else.
Yeah.
But instead of like, when you made that decision of, oh, I'm not gonna tape right now, I actively make that decision a lot. Instead of like, I can tape in a year, I could tape a new special, but I'd be like, I'm gonna take 3 years instead. So by the time you're doing 3 years, you've been doing these jokes. They're so tight. They're so ready that you can get it to a point where you're like, it's more boom, 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 boom.
It was beautiful to see. If you're a fan of comedy, bro, and you're watching this, watch the fucking special.
Thank you, brother.
Which is coming out November 7th.
November 7th, I'm having it. It's going to be out on all the streaming stuff, but I'm pushing everybody because I got a distribution deal where they're going to put it on Amazon and Tubi and all that stuff, but they're also letting me keep the rights to it, so I'm putting it up on my own YouTube. So I'm promoting it on my YouTube. Go check it out on my YouTube and then check it out. It's on Pluto TV. It'll be on Amazon. It'll be on Tubi, all those things. But I'm drawing my fans to go watch it on my YouTube.
Also, like, okay.
And leave a positive comment.
Yeah, comment on it, bro. Like, I bro talk, like, if you follow me and you support me, bro, support this man. Cause I think, and also what I see is when it comes to any other comedian, black, white, there's a whole lot of support. They support each other.
They do.
And I think that's what we need within our community.
Yeah.
We need to do as much as possible to be like, yo, Ian is coming out with a special. Do you see it? We're going to have a watch party. I remember you came out when you did your HBO special came out.
Yeah.
We're like, oh no, we're going to watch it at my cigar lounge.
Yeah. But I find that we've been doing, like, I find that there is that community. Like, I
You
find
think
that,
so?
when it comes to Latinos and Dominicans, I find that we are, like, I don't really see anybody beefing. Like, it's a couple people who I've heard say some hating stuff, but they not doing nothing.
Yeah, I know. I did hear somebody say some hating stuff, and I was like, fuck that motherfucker.
About me or about you?
It was he was there at the special that night.
Yeah, about me?
About you.
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
And
like,
I was like, fuck him.
What did he say? What was the thing?
He was like, he was a hater.
Yeah.
I knew he was a hater. It came from a friend of ours.
Yeah.
You know, she was like, oh, and then she was telling me that this man said, he didn't tell me.
Okay.
You know, I'm like, this man said that the special was okay. And this girl told me, and I was like, that nigga's a hater. Cause what
He's Dominican too.
He's Dominican. He's like a director or some shit. Yeah, whatever. He's Dominican too. I'm like, yo, you hanging out with us, all this extra shit. I'm like, that shit was masterful, bro.
Yeah, no,
like,
I don't even, to be honest, like with that opinion, I don't even consider that a hater. I just consider that's his opinion. Like he has a brand of comedy, I'm sure, that he enjoys. That there's a type of comedy that speaks to him, and I just wasn't doing that. I'm not offended by that. It's comedy.
He was a hater. He was a hater.
But he's not even a comic. Why he hating on me? Like I'm not stepping on.
You know, I feel like there's a lot of Latino men tend to do that.
Yeah,
I do feel like Vamos, make me laugh.
Yeah, they do.
But the whole room is laughing.
I mean, yeah, like I don't know. Did he watch it? Like if he sat there the whole time and just left and was like, "That was why." That's pretty arrogant, right? To be like everybody here is laughing, but I know better than the 400 people that are in the room. But
I'm like, bro, like bro talking out. I told Shorty, I was like, what we saw that night was masterful. It was back to back. It was like, and I think because I'm a comedian, I'm able to see it, and I'm like, okay, this is line by line, bro. Like, no special does that.
I appreciate that. Especially, I mean, you're a comic, so you see it even more. I mean, he's whatever you said, a director, whatever. I don't know how well he knows comedy or how well he knows any of the thing. But I'm not offended by, like, even if you watch it and some people might watch it and they might not enjoy it, that's fine too. Like, I'm just not for you.
It's not. The
best people, like Bad Bunny is the biggest artist in the world, and when they announced him on the Super Bowl, like
people were mad.
A good amount of the country was like, this sucks. So it's like, if Bad Bunny's getting it, who am I not to get the hate?
Yeah, I respect the humbleness.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
he's cool.
I was talking to a friend of ours, and she was like, I read the article that she posted, right? And she was talking about that you're fucking very rigid when it comes to the like discipline to the T.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I think I'm more, I don't know if rigid is the word. I'm more pragmatic, meaning I break it down, I simplify, and I just do the things I have to do. I'm not rigid like I'm up at 5 a.m. running 3 miles to get ready. I'm not rigid like that.
I'm you writing every day.
No, I don't write every day. No, I don't write every day. I think every day and I work on my craft every day, but I don't necessarily sit down with a pen and write every day. I have ideas that I let them sit in my head for a little while, and then when it feels right, when it feels like I have something, then I'll sit down and I write. What I do have is, even though I don't write every day, when I get on album mode, which is what I call it, is like when a musician is creating an album where he locks himself in the studio and he got to do song after song after song to create the album. I find that when I'm in that, I tend to come up with stuff fast. Like I won't write every day, but I'll sit down and in a week I'll come up with 5 minutes, which is a lot. That's a lot in a week to come up with. I've sat down with and in one sitting come up with a 7-8 minute bit. That's a lot, because you got to think of you trying to fill 55 minutes to sit down one time and make 8. That's almost 1/5 of the thing. That usually takes months to come up with a good 8 minutes. So I've been lucky in that sense. But I'll also have months where I come up with nothing. It's an art form. I don't even put the pressure on myself like that. Like I need a new thing right now. Like
I love that idea of like album mode. If you think about it, like we are like creating an album when it comes to a special. Like, oh, I gotta lock in right now.
That's how I see it. A lot of people don't see it like that, but that's how I see it. It's like album mode, and I'm still early enough in my career where I always gotta outdo the last one. So my last one was an HBO special.
Yeah.
Where my whole family came out in New York City and filmed it. So with this one, I financed this one myself, but quality wise, I had the same family members that came to the first one. In the audience, there was a lot of people from the HBO special came to the second one. I had to top the HBO special, at least funny wise, where I had to where they left thinking that the HBO special one was funny, but after this one, my family, you know, they were like, no, this is like you're at a different level now. Like you're operating at a different level. And then the next one, I gotta push it even more.
Why Material Boy?
I chose the name Material Boy. It was kind of I was when I came up with the name, I was feeling a little bit more. I was a little bit more angry than I am now. I'm not angry at all now, and I don't know if angry is the right word, but I was kind of annoyed with social media's falling in love with comedians all doing crowd work and the material being disrespected as if that's not the hardest thing to do. Like I always believe the hardest thing to do is the material, right? You got to create a story without an audience, and then I got to perform it in front of the audience and make the audience come into my story, make them get it, make them see my point of view. That's difficult. This is very difficult. Not to say that crowd work can't be difficult, because crowd work can be difficult, but it's easier than they're
actually coming up with material.
Coming up with material at home
that's consistent.
Yeah,
too.
And that makes people relate.
Yeah.
So I called it Material Boy because I was a person who always like, and if you come out to the clubs, if you come see me like in the New York comedy world, I'm known as a person who like always has like material, always has like new bits, new material that he's working on. So I took a play on Madonna's Material Girl, and
I like that.
We did Material.
Yeah, do you
Boy.
feel like comedy is changing right now? Because I feel like there's a lot of people. I feel like when I go on, on stage, I see a lot more people like trying to talk to the audience, trying to talk to the comedians. There's a lot more heckling.
Yeah.
I feel like, do you feel like comedy is changing in a way that is being applauded a little bit more?
Of course. When I started comedy in 2000, the first time I did comedy was 2011.
Yeah.
When I started comedy, that wasn't a thing. I mean, crowd work was a thing that comedians did on stage when their jokes weren't going well.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the thing you did.
Yeah.
It was like if you were falling, it was a parachute you could pull.
Yeah.
So you could
bring them in.
Yeah, to fall lightly. It's like you got pushed out of a plane and you had this parachute called crowd work where you can talk to people and make them feel engaged and bring them into you, and then hopefully you can make a safe landing with that. That used to be like our little secret, but then after the pandemic, it seemed like TikTok.
It just shot off. Everybody's doing crowd work. Right. I catch myself. I do crowd work.
Too.
You know what I mean?
I do it too.
But I feel like it's taken over now.
It has.
Now people are just coming into the club and just heckling.
It has 100%. Yeah. Not only that, but like there's networks that are releasing full specials of just crowd work.
Yeah. And they're not good.
Which is, that's it used to be we're gonna pay you for this hour of ideas that you created that are funny. And now if you're big enough, they'll pay you to ask people how long they've been together, which is kind of crazy to see where we've come. But I'm not even approaching it from there was a point where I was like, what are we doing? Like this is society's falling apart. Like how are we valuing this?
You're like the old man. Like,
I felt like a dinosaur, but now I don't look at it that way. I shout out to everyone who's doing it. I think
that's how you really feel, Material Boy.
Yeah, I mean, for them, for them, I feel like it's not for me. Like,
gotcha.
I like I said, I did not decide to do comedy to go to a club and ask people how long they've been where they work and how they met their wife and how they propose. Like, I'll do that sometimes. But that's not what I got into it. That's just like.
You got into it so you could for the love of it. Who was your inspiration? Like, if you could be like, yo, these were the comedians that inspired me.
Like growing up, there was so much, and I do this new thing now where like I don't have favorites. I'll just name names, but it's no favorites because it's an art form. You shouldn't. It's like whatever I'm in the mood for. But like growing up, I was a fan of like Jamie Foxx, Chappelle, Martin, Chris Rock, even like George Lopez. Like I was a big fan of George Lopez. It was so many of them. Like I was just around that stand-up comedy thing. Even like Steve Harvey and the Kings of Comedy and all those people, and it was a lot of them who I was just, because my brother would watch stand up, and it was just part of like, I remember watching Comic View and watching all these things where I would just become a fan of it. So.
Yeah, I remember like back in the day we had the BET and we also had Comedy Central, and then you see like the contrast of the stand-ups.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
The Comedy Central, you see the white comics.
You see the white comics, you see the black comics
yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I always like the BET one, but I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. No, it's like I said, it's an art form. Like some people. Sometimes I gotta remind myself of this. Like going back to like the guy at the special, like. He watched it, and I'm not even mad at him. Like to him personally, it was okay. Which okay is not bad. I think it's better than okay, but to him is okay. But he doesn't realize that it's only okay to him because he has this idea in his head of what comedy's supposed to be to him because of his life experiences, and that's what he wants to see. Which is like just go see a comic who does that.
I see what you're saying.
You know, there's different. I'm not. For everyone, no one is like. I don't get it.
You're right.
No one is for everyone.
And what's the future for you? Like, what do you say? Like, what is the goal for you? What what you feel like is the goal that you're striving for when it comes to stand up?
I think I'm doing a lot of the things that I'm striving for. I want to continue to grow and continue to do stand up and just have more people know about me because I'm at a weird place right now in my career where like some people know so much about me and some people never heard of me.
Yeah.
So it's like this weird thing. Like even out in public, like I'll run into a thing where like I went to Puerto Rico to see Bad Bunny, and one of like the most surprising thing was like when we went, it happened a couple times throughout Puerto Rico, but when we were at the show in El Choli, like I remember going out to the bathroom, going to get drinks, and like people like recognizing me and asking me for photos, but then the person they're with is like, who the hell is that? So it's like one person like,
which is fucking good though.
No, it's great. It's great for me.
Yeah,
but my thing is like, how do I get that second person to be
too.
like, oh, I think I've heard of him.
But I think that you're in a perfect position because I feel like you didn't blow up before you were ready.
That is the bright spot of it.
I think
that does happen a lot. And that's career cancer,
bruh.
Yeah,
there's so many people. How many people? We're not gonna name any names, but there's a lot of people that blew up before they weren't ready.
Most people now,
and you see their stand up, you're like, mierda.
Yeah,
and then right now they're tainted with that. You know what I'm saying?
It's tough. It's tough because it's not their fault.
No,
they didn't like. We all like when no, because when I started, like just like them, when I first started, I wanted to blow up immediately, just how they did. Like I was the same as them. It just didn't happen for me for whatever reason. It did not happen for me that way, which in hindsight was kind of a gift. But at the moment, it didn't feel like a gift. At the moment, I was like, I wish I could go viral and be super popular and do all these venues. But I tell these guys, because I speak to some of them are my friends, I'm like, but as long as you keep working and do the work, like the rest of us are working our asses off, and you're not going to skip the line.
Nah.
Like you might skip the line in ticket sales and the money you make when you tour, but you're not going to skip the line in the craft.
Yes.
So you got to catch up to us who've been grinding at this for the last 10, 15, 20 years. Every night, dedicated their whole life to that. You're not gonna skip us, like, and as far as the skill goes.
Yeah, I see that too. Cause I like when we had a conversation, you were like, I was like, cause I do want to get a lot in the bigger clubs. Mm-hmm. And one thing that I liked, you were like, oh, you know what? When it came to me coming to this club, you're like, I like that. You were like, people came up to me.
Yeah.
When I was ready. People came on to me and asked me you should be in these clubs instead of me trying to get into these clubs. I'm like, you know what? I like that perspective because they're looking for you.
Yeah. And I think for me, that's the way it happened for me. I don't know if it was I don't know if that's all good. It might have been some of my stubbornness of like my New York stubbornness of like, I'm not going to ask nobody for nothing, which that can hurt you too. Like there's spaces where you do have to advocate for yourself and speak up for yourself to get the opportunities. But for me, that was like a thing, like I ain't asking nobody for nothing. Like I'll do it when they want me, then I'll go do it. And I got lucky that way where eventually they did. It took me a long time though. It took me like 8 years.
Yeah, but like, once you got there, you ready. It's not like you got there and you're like, oh man, espérate.
Once I got there, I was able to work every single night at the place that allowed me to do it. Like there's people who they'll get in 3 years in and they be in for a little while, then the club stops booking them because they know that they can't, like on stage for 15 minutes, they can't hold their own, or maybe they can't follow other comics. But I was lucky enough that the clubs asked me like to come audition, and then when I did, they worked me ever since. So I was lucky in that sense. But to answer your question, the goal is I just want to keep growing as a comedian. I want to keep growing. I'm going to keep putting out stand-up specials every 2-3 years whenever it's ready. And then I also want to act. I want to get into acting and movies and stuff like that. I want to try to pivot into that lane.
I feel like we could do that now. I think the studios went down, especially LA. People are leaving LA through the throws, bro.
Well, that's another thing with like I learned this with the special because like I financed this myself. I paid for it.
Yeah.
My life savings. I paid for everything. And you were there. It's like it was a big production.
It was a big production.
It wasn't like a little thing. So now I'm pivoting.
Which Ida directed.
Yeah, shout out to Ida. She's the second special she directs for me. My goal now is I want to build my own platforms, build my YouTube, build like I'm releasing on my YouTube also because I want to have a thing where like when I film the next one, I want to be able to just go straight to YouTube.
Yeah.
With not like I'll give myself a release date. I'll pick the title. I'll pick everything. Nobody tells me nothing, and the people gonna see it and they'll watch it and it'll be something that they enjoy. I want to have that option for me. So my next goal is to create that.
Create that so like that you have your fan base to you either way.
Right.
Which is that's a route everybody's going anyways.
That's the route. Like
and you have complete control over yourself.
Yes. Yeah. You have to now like when you make a special whatever, if you're like one of the in guys or whatever, the first step is to take it to Netflix just because they'll give you so much. They'll give you money for it.
It's a big platform.
They'll give you the money for it. They'll give you $200,000 for it for your special. So so your agent is. I mean, it costs half that to record. So it's not like you're walking away. Then you got to pay managers, agents, and taxes on the 200. Dang. So you don't leave with like 200. You know.
That's why you got to fire them before you.
You'll be lucky if you leave with 30, 40,000. You'll be lucky if you finish with.
Bro,
that.
like for real?
Yeah, if you'd be lucky with that. And it's also like what special needs marketing. You need to hire a publicist. You need to market it so people can watch it. All that goes into that.
Are you doing that too?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm gonna.
Do you sell yours afterwards, or you like?
I got a distribution deal with a company called Cineverse where we're doing a partnership where they're putting it on all the streamers and we're splitting the revenue that it makes on the streamers. It's for free, but they do ads, so the ad revenue we split it on it, which is like I wanted to have it accessible everywhere. I wanted to have it where when people watch it, everyone. When people want to watch it, they can go anywhere to watch it, from YouTube to Tubi to Pluto to Roku to Amazon. It'll be everywhere.
If somebody if somebody were to start stand up today, right? What would the advice you would give them?
I don't know, because a lot of people ask me that, but sometimes I'm when I speak to a new comic, I'm like, I don't know if I can give you advice because it's not like when I started. So my advice sounds a little bit outdated because I personally would tell you like, don't worry about social media, like worry about being good at
the
stand-up.
craft.
And then once you're good, you pivot it to social media, and then that's when lightning strikes. When you could match both those things, where you match your following to your skill on stage, and it takes time. Like, don't listen to me. Listen to whoever you respect as a stand-up, from the greats, Seinfeld, Chappelle, Carlin, Pryor, whoever it is. They all tell you it takes time to get good.
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy, I remember he was doing an interview, and they asked him, like, I think he was doing, this is when Arsenio had just came back in like 2008 or 9. Arsenio had just came back, and he did Arsenio, and they asked Eddie Murphy, he was like, hey, are you gonna like go back on tour? Are you gonna go back on stage? And Arsenio was like, you can go do stand up right now, to Eddie Murphy live on the camera. Eddie was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Like, you guys think this is like a natural thing? No, it's like I gotta go to the club. I gotta go to the club every night and get an act, develop an act. Like that's how it is. That's the game. You know, people do it differently now, but that's the advice I would give. But I don't know if I'm in a position to give advice, because I'm like, you ask these other guys who are killing it, because seems like
I think you're in a perfect position to give advice, because like you got to where you are because of, one, your work ethic, two, you understand the craft a whole lot better than a lot of cats. And a lot of cats, I think, are coming in for the wrong reasons.
Of course, yeah.
Right?
That's unavoidable. I can't stop that. But I could tell pretty quickly what, it shows itself pretty quickly. Like with you, for example, like when you started doing stand-up and then when you came to New York, it showed pretty quickly that you were the type of person that wanted to follow the right path. Mm-hmm. That you already had some clout, you already had some viral things, and you already had that. But like when you came to stand-up, you were kind of eager for the information to do it the right way. A lot of people are not like that, and we can see that immediately. Yeah. A lot of people are not like that, or they pretend to be like that, and then when you give them the information, they don't like the information. So they're I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna, and they disguise it with, I'm gonna do it my own way. And it's like, you're really just being lazy.
Yeah, I see that a lot.
Because your own way is being home and doing nothing.
Come on, bro. Yeah.
Like, that's just a little bit of laziness. And to be fair, I'm lazy too. I get it. I get it. But when people be like, I'm gonna do it my own way, their own way is never like, oh, I'm gonna, like, for example, let's say you don't want to do the comedy clubs. Let's say you're anti that, right? and people be like, oh, I'm gonna do it my own way. Their own way is never like, well, I'm gonna go to whatever open mic they have here in Uptown every single night, and I'm gonna do 3 of these open mics every single night. Because if you told me that, I would be like, okay, well, that's a way to do it too. That is a way to come up too. That's stage time, right? You're getting your stage time, but it's never that.
No,
their way is just like, I'm gonna sell out Madison Square Garden. That's doing it their way, which maybe they'll figure it out. I don't know. Like I have love for them too. Like I have love for those people too. I'm just like happy that as Dominicans, there's like so many people doing it in so many different avenues.
There's different ways. But you're absolutely right about like their own way has never been like, oh, let me get into these clubs, or this is how many stage times I'm gonna do so I could get there, or this is how I'm gonna film.
Their own way is never, I'm gonna do 30 spots a month.
No,
that's never their own.
No,
way.
It's never that.
It's always, I'm gonna do 4 spots a month.
Yeah,
and you're like, that's your own way.
Yeah.
I could have.
Yeah, that's one night.
Yeah, that's a nice way of doing it. I mean, if it will work for you, then it'll work for you. But generally speaking, like this is, and I don't want people to listen to this and like feel away. These aren't my rules. Like I'm just relaying the rules of like the game. Like, I've been afforded the opportunity to be in rooms and at tables with the legends, the greats. I mean, Chappelle flew me to his house. I spent a weekend at Chappelle's house.
You spent a weekend with Chappelle.
Where we were just talking comedy the whole time. I'm telling you what like the game is.
They did this.
Yeah, what the game is. They give it to me. I repeat it like on a thing.
Damn, what was the best advice that you got from Chappelle?
It was a pretty simple one. He talked about when he was like young, and he was like, maybe 20, 21. And at that point, he had already been doing comedy for like a little while. And he felt that, because a lot of people forget, like they see Dave Chappelle as like so big now, but coming up, like he wasn't the guy he was like a young guy who was funny and would get a lot of opportunities. But until Chappelle's show took him off, he like other people were blowing past him, like in the sense of fame. Like Martin came and blew past him. Like even Cat Williams at the time kind of blew past him. And like at that time, he was insecure about where he was in his career. And he told me a story about talking to his dad. He was like, every time I'm doing these bits, and then I hear somebody else come up with the bit, or they'll do it on TV like before me or whatever. And his dad was like, why don't you just write faster? And that's pretty simple advice. Like just write the joke faster so nobody can take it from you, like, and put it out faster. Pretty simple advice, but there's genius to it because it's true. Like if you have an issue, if you're not happy where you are in comedy and you feel like you deserve whatever you feel you deserve, the only option you really have is to just put out more material. Let people see what you see that they can't see yet. And I took that, and that really stuck with me, the write faster.
Write faster. So come up with more jokes, basically.
Just come up with more jokes. If you feel like people don't know how good you are, then come up with more jokes.
Come up with more jokes.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that's pretty sage advice. So like I said, I'm not trying to like give people my own opinion. Like when somebody like asks me, it's like a new comic asks me like, oh, what do I think, or what advice I would give? I summarize all the advice that I've gotten from people I look up to, from comedians to managers to agents to everyone. When we speak, I summarize that, and then I give them the advice. But the advice, a lot of times, they don't like it because it involves working. And people generally don't want to work.
If you were to be like, out of all the advices that I got from a whole lot of people, all these dope greats that you met, you're in it. So what would you say, like, this has been the most impactful one? What would that be?
I don't think there's like one that's most impactful. I think the write faster one is one that has stuck with me, and it's kind of a phrase that I remind myself whenever I feel like I'm a little stuck. And it's kind of like, it's kind of a thing you tell yourself like on the treadmill, like keep going. Just do it. It's kind of like a Nike affirmation, like just do it, write faster.
Write faster.
So that one has stuck with me, but all the other ones, like, to be honest, I saw this on YouTube, and I don't want to butcher it, but this guy was talking on YouTube. He was like, 95% of the time, like, you already know what you need to do. You just don't like it. So you're out seeking
for more options, new information.
Right, other options, because you know what the work is. Like, if you want to be a stand-up comedian, I imagine if you want to be a stand-up comedian and you know anything about the business, majority of people know that if you want to be a stand-up comedian, what you have to do is you have to go do open mics every single night.
That's true.
You have to dedicate your life to this art form,
to this craft,
and get on stage every single night wherever you can, as much as you can. I'm not saying that if you miss a night, you're going to fail. I'm not saying you got to miss everything. I'm not saying you got to miss all your family events. I'm saying, generally speaking, every single night, meaning most nights, you have to be on stage performing comedy for people who aren't your fans.
Yep.
That's everybody knows that.
Everybody,
like, that's common sense.
Yeah. I think like everybody knows it, but we ignore it.
We ignore it because you want somebody to tell you something different because that involves work, which I remember when I was coming up and doing that for free, a lot of times me paying to perform at the open mic, it sucked. It was terrible. It was brutal. Like I hated it. I hated it. I just thought that one day I could get out of it. But when I was in it, I hated it. I did not want to be there. So I get it. But if somebody asks you, like, how do I become a basketball player? You would say, go practice.
Go practice.
Right? How do you become a baseball player? How? You go to the park every single day and start taking grounders. And in 10 years, you're going to be like, oh, shit, I'm pretty good at taking grounders.
Yeah. Like Gary Vaynerchuk talks about that. Sometimes like when it's like playing baseball, you just got to go up to the plate and bat. And sometimes you'll hit first base. Sometimes you'll strike out. But guess what? One time a year, you'll probably hit a home run. It's
not that complex.
Yeah.
People just want another option.
I think we want the fast track.
Right. Which I get. Again, I never want to come off to like the newer guys like I'm being judgmental or looking down on them.
No.
I get it. When I was coming up, a lot of times I would have took that route had it been presented to me. I didn't have the option. Like it took me a long time to get anything. Like now people look at some of the stuff I've done, and even in the industry, like people think that like I'm an industry guy, like I'm an industry darling because I got the 5 appearances on the Tonight Show and the HBO and Comedy Cellar.
Wow, okay.
But it's like, sure, I've gotten to that point now, but it took me a long time to get there. Like when I started, all my people blew past me. Like I was still doing open mics when they were out, some of them doing TV stuff. Even now, I have people who came up under me who have blown past me, who like I'm not some overnight person.
Success.
Like I'm a person who's just kind of like worked at it and has stuck around and continues to like come up with new stuff. But like I remember Marcelo, he told me that Marcelo is like my little brother. Like I remember we were having a conversation recently and he said that he found a podcast that he did in like 2018, 2019. Before he was Marcelo. He's a huge star now. And they asked him like, oh, what comedians do you like? What comedians do you look up to? It was like in 2018. And he brought me up. He was like, do you guys know like this Ian Lara kid? He's like in New York. He's Dominican. He's killing it. And now I've watched Marcelo go from like, he used to bark outside the Grizzly Pear.
I heard.
For the people who don't know barking is, he used to stand outside the Grizzly Pear and ask people to come in to watch him perform. I watch him go from that to being like, the other day I walked by the Grizzly Pear with him. I can't even walk down the street with him because he's so famous.
Wow.
He went on SNL and killed it. And it worked perfectly for him.
Yes.
And he has all these opportunities that he deserves because he's like a super funny comedian and he's a super funny guy. And
down to earth.
And he was another guy, like, I can vouch for this. When he was coming up, he was like how I said you were. He wanted to know, how do I do it? Like, what's the right way to do it? Like, do I get on stage? I got to get on stage every night? Cool. He moved from Miami to a room here, was on stage every night. He's a person that deserves everything he gets because he got it relatively quickly compared to other people, but he paid the dues. As long as you paid the dues, no one could get mad at you. And that's super dope and cool that it's happened to him. And it's happened to many other people too. But as long as you like pay the dues, people don't want to do that though.
That's true.
Which I get. I don't want to do it either.
Shit. When it came to you, like you, bro, and also like when you're a fan of comedy, you learn so much about what's going on, right? And I also want to be respected. When I first started, even when I was working at Pero, like I didn't invite people to my shows. So I didn't want people to come over. Yeah, like even perform in front of your fans. Your fans are gonna laugh at your shit no matter what, right? That's how much I love it. But you are also like, when you know how comedy works, especially here in New York City, you are part of, like, I would say the mecca of comedy, right? And we're talking about the Cellar, right? And I went to the Cellar the other day and I was like, these motherfuckers are hilarious. We're talking about, I feel like the Cellar is like the NBA for basketball.
For sure, yeah. Still, definitely the major leagues, yeah.
It's definitely the major leagues, bro.
Yeah.
How was it for you to get into the Cellar? Like what was your process getting in, or like, you know, your experience?
Well, like you said, like when coming up, it took me years, and I'm saying relatively compared to the people who I started with, who were doing a lot more things than I was doing at the time.
Yeah.
And all that stuff was out of my control. But one thing that I did value is, like you said, I was like, but I want the respect from the people. Like, I want your favorite, like, you could think I suck. You're and I mean this respectfully, but like whoever it is, you could think I suck, but respectfully, your opinion is irrelevant. You're just one single person. Right? If everyone thought I sucked, that'd be a problem. But just you thinking I suck, that doesn't mean anything. Because one, you don't know anything about comedy. You're not dedicated into this field. You're not respected in this field. No one comes to you for your opinion on comedy. So why should I ruin my day because of your opinion? And also, name me your favorite comic. And I'm pretty sure if he's like New York or LA based, there's a pretty high chance that he knows me and respects what I do on stage.
Ooh, I like that.
So that was the only thing that I can control. So when I got into the Cellar, I had just done my first Tonight Show. And when you do the Tonight Show, one of the things you do is the night before, the producer from the Tonight Show, the booker, he flies in from Los Angeles, and you go around and you do the set that you're gonna do on television. You run it at the clubs. So I ran it at the Cellar. I wasn't a past comic, but obviously with the Tonight Show, with him, you were able to supersede that. So I ran the 5 minutes, and it was great. And I was like, damn, this feels nice. This feels cool. Then I didn't think anything of it. And a month went by, and then one day I got a text message out of nowhere from the manager, and she was like, hey, people keep recommending you to me here. Would you like to audition for the club? And I was like, I would love to. And then she sent me the date, and then I went and I auditioned. And I remember leaving. I didn't hear anything back. And then a couple days later, I got another text, and she was like, hey, send us your headshot and all your credits, and this is how we do the booking. And they did basically the onboarding.
Were you like nervous when you audition or what?
I wasn't too nervous because, like I said, I do it. I was maybe a little anxious. I don't want to make it seem like I'm a robot. I was like a little anxious, but it's just like anything you do a ton, you're gonna get comfortable with. Like eventually you're gonna get comfortable with. Like so many people are like, oh, I can never do public speaking. I'm so shy. And I'm like, if you started public speaking today. And you did it every day for the next 10 years. In 10 years, when I ask you, do you get nervous about public speaking? You're gonna say no.
That's true.
You're gonna say this is just what I do every day.
It's like tightening your sneakers.
Yeah, it's like I do it every day. So I wasn't like too nervous on it. I was a little anxious, but I was just like, but just do what you do. I always had this mantra in my head when I'm performing at these big clubs or even like on television or any type of big thing where I'm just like, it's just telling jokes in front of people. It don't matter the room. It don't matter where we at. You're just telling jokes in front of people.
Bruh.
You do that. You tell jokes in front of people. So no matter what venue you at, you should be able to figure it out. And sometimes it goes terribly, but that's okay also.
Bro, and is there anybody that you were like, because but they tell me like when it comes to the Cellar, like they put you right behind like a top dog. Like I had a friend of mine that he auditioned for the Cellar, and he's like, I went after Miss Pat and I had to do 5 minutes. And they never called me ever again. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. So what was your question?
Like, do you ever go after somebody that you're like nervous about?
Yes, but I want that smoke though.
Ooh.
Yeah, for sure. But to me, I'm like, I mean, I've like you name it. I've went up after Chris Rock. I went up after Kevin Hart. I've went up after Louis C.K. I've went up after Chappelle. I've went up after Aziz. I mean, who do you think is great? I've went up probably after Amy Schumer.
Was it nerve-wracking when you went after Kevin
Hart?
Well,
the first time I went up after Chris Rock, like he's probably the first guy, I was like, damn, I gotta follow Chris Rock. And Esty at the Cellar, she was like, it'll be the best set you've ever had. Like they're so happy that they got to see Chris Rock. You kind of just got to learn how to ride that wave.
Oh.
And then I took that advice and I went up and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Like they're already in a good mood. And even if they're not, like I'll bully you into being in a good mood. I'll be like, oh, you're not going to laugh at me? Like you just saw Chris Rock. Like, come on. Like what more do you want? You paid $12. You just saw Chris Rock. And now you're not going to laugh at me? This how entitled, and they'll laugh at that. And they'll be like, you're right. All right, let's have a good time. So no, I enjoy it. But honestly, I'll say this. At the Cellar, you don't got to worry about, like, it's not the Chris Rocks that you got to worry about following because a lot of times they're working out new stuff. They're just they're not doing the stuff you see, the A material you see at a special. Yeah. They're trying to figure stuff out.
What you got to worry about?
You got to worry about the no names who have something to prove. Like the people at my level, like who nobody knows about but they're trying to make a name for themselves.
And they'll rock that.
Because those are the people that bring the heat. Like they'll put 15 minutes of heat in front of you that you'll be like, damn. And that has happened at the Cellar. Like I remember following Shane Gillis at the Cellar. Which Shane is another one that I watched Shane like blow up. I watched him move to New York, did everything the right way, funny as hell, then blow up and become huge. And I remember following him at the Cellar where, I mean, I thought they were gonna carry him out like from how hard he was killing. Yeah, like he did stuff from his special. He did a bit about how 9/11 and how Al Qaeda, they were the ones that are brave, how our military isn't brave. In New York City, he did this joke. And it's murdering. It's so funny. And I got up there and I was like, I gotta give it to him, man. That's just like, I literally was like, I gotta give it to him. Like I said, Al Qaeda. Well, I said a pro Al Qaeda joke in New York City, like a week before 9/11. Like I gotta give him that. Like that's what it is. I remember now, like now following Marcelo is tough. I mean, he's a celebrity now. Like I remember before, he was a comic. It's one thing when a comic kills, because at the end of the day, the audience feels good, but it's a comic. But it's another thing when the comic kills and he's famous and women want to sleep with him. That's tough to follow. That is difficult to follow because you got to get up there and I'm like, guys, I know. You want to sleep with him. I know. Man. You can't. He's
You're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, like you can't. You're not going to sleep with him. So just forget it.
It's not going to happen.
And just start listening to me. You have a way better shot of sleeping with me than you do with Marcelo.
It had to go afterwards, after Marcelo went up.
Yeah. You figure it out. I've been doing this, bro. It's going to be 15 years. Yeah. It's going to be 15 years. Wow. So even if maybe it'll start slow. By the end, I usually get them. Like I'll get them by the end.
Yeah, because they say confidence comes from hard work.
Yeah. I agree.
And I could tell your confidence. Like you're like, oh yeah, no, I would be okay. Like for you not to be that nervous to be like, oh, to perform at the Cellar or to do the audition. Yeah, you were anxious, but you're not like nervous to be like, oh man, what am I doing? Yeah. Like that also comes from years of practice. You already know what you're gonna say. You already know what works at that time.
Right. Yeah. No. I lean on that. In times of like high nerves and high anxiety, I lean on, but you did the work. As long as you can tell yourself, like whatever the opportunity came in. Like I remember being backstage at the Tonight Show, like right behind the curtain, right before Jimmy's about to announce you. Yeah. And you hear Jimmy and he's telling the audience about you. He's bigging you up, telling them like, all your stuff. Like he's great. You're gonna love him, whatever. And I remember standing back there and just reminding myself, like trying to calm my nerves and just reminding myself, you did the work. You did the work. Like, that's all you can do. You did that part. You did it. Like, now you just go out and do it again. You've done the work. I remember being times where I didn't do the work and then not having that to lean on and feeling like, shit, I didn't do the work on this.
And you feel it. You feel like you're like, fuck, I should have. I should have worked. I shouldn't put myself in this position. Yeah. Never again.
Yeah, I got too confident, got too cocky.
Yeah, I do that too. But then it happens again. I'm like, man, I should have done the work.
No, it's happened. It's happened to me. Well, I'm human, bro. It's happened to me too. Where I'm like, you didn't do the work for this. To me, there's nothing better than the feeling of like you did the work. Like with the special, with Material Boy, like whether people love it or think it's okay or whatever the case is, for me, I did the work on that. Like I worked at it.
Yeah, I could tell.
I wrote, I toured the whole world. I performed that in front of so many different audience. Not just my audience, not just Dominicans, not just people from New York, not just people from Queens, not people who look like me. I took that to North Dakota, South Dakota, California, all through San Diego, Sacramento, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Anaheim. I went up to Seattle, Portland, Vancouver, Edmonton. I went to Dubai, Abu Dhabi. I toured that in France. I toured it in Israel. I took that everywhere. I took those.
You took it outside the United States.
Everywhere.
And it worked out there too.
So when I'm release something like that, I'm like, look, I understand that you think it's okay. First, if we're being clear, respectfully, you have no idea what you're talking about. It would be the equivalent of you're a director. It would be the equivalent of me going on set. I don't know anything about directing and try to tell you like, hey, this was okay when I have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about. So at least if you take one thing away from this, take that you give your opinion on shit you don't know what you're talking about. Which is fine. I do that also. We all do that. It's fine. That's a human thing.
That's a human thing.
That's a human thing. I'm not knocking them. I do it also. And I gotta remind myself, like, you don't know what you're talking about. You ever say some shit and then in your head you're like, I don't know
what the fuck am I talking about?
Yeah.
That's just stupid.
Yeah, so I've done it too, but I will also beg to explain to him or them or whoever it is like, but understand that I did the work.
You know
this.
who it is.
I did the work on this. I can send you like if you think this is okay, I can send you tapes of standing ovations and overseas and over there. I can send you that if you want. Like, so maybe that'll convince you that maybe you don't know what you're talking about.
No, he doesn't.
But it probably won't convince them because people just think that they know.
They know more than anybody else.
Yeah, which is fine.
I
appreciate him coming. Why would you come to hate on it?
I feel like there was ego there, and and it happens a lot with us Latino men. I'm like, there's this ego. They were like, especially
but he wasn't even a comic.
He wasn't even a comic.
So where's the ego come from? Like, you could go, like, that would be like me going to like watch the Mets and being mad that Soto homers.
Right?
Like, I'm not a baseball player. Why would I be mad at that?
Yeah, it's true.
Or maybe he just honestly, maybe to be fair to him, maybe he just genuinely thought it was okay.
That's true. It's not like he said something that it was bad.
Yeah.
Right? At least he didn't say that. But come on. We were in the same room.
I agree. I mean, yeah, I'm on your page. I agree. I like for me personally, as a person who's been doing stand up for 15 years, all over.
Yeah.
That night, both shows. You came to show 1, right?
I think it was the first show.
Yeah, that night, show 1 and 2. That could not have went better for me. Like, I've done it. I've done this for 15 years. I've done different venues. I've done huge venues. I've opened for people. That night couldn't have went better for me. So what else is there? That's why, like, now, like, we sent it, and also, like, we sent it before I decided to go the route that I'm releasing it now. We sent it to YouTube, and no, we sent it to Netflix, and we sent it to HBO, and they were both like so complimentary of it, like, which that
did you try to send it? So you said YouTube and HBO?
No, it's Netflix.
Yeah,
we tried.
What did Netflix say? Netflix be like, yo, give me that shit.
No, they loved it. She was so complimentary about it. She was so like, so was HBO.
And then what happened?
But I think it's just where we are right now. It's just I don't have the clout, I think, that would warrant them pulling the trigger on that. And I get it, because they're executives. At the end of the day, if they give me money for the special, they have to sit at a boardroom and explain to their bosses why they gave me money and not the TikToker with 10 million followers.
Bro,
that's just the truth of it.
It just doesn't make sense, bro. The whole point is, if you have something that's dope, right? The material works. You're supposed to be the one to be like, yo, let me buy this shit because the material's dope, so I could show my fans like, yo, we believe in this motherfucker, so like that people could trust you. No more, though. But so people could trust you.
That's not the point no more. No more. The people stop. I was just having this conversation. People stopped in media. They stopped glorifying being tastemakers, right? It used to be a point where they were tastemakers, right? There was a time where Netflix would tell you, this is what's dope.
This was what's dope.
Watch this. We're experts at what's dope, and we think this is dope. Watch it.
Exactly.
They're no longer there. That's not a thing anymore.
Because they started bringing up all these people that weren't ready and giving them specials.
Well, I think it's bigger than that. I think business-wise, that business model went away. Business-wise, these corporations, which like Netflix, somebody put this in perspective to me, where they were like, Netflix is an app.
Okay, yeah.
They're not like this. You think that Netflix is like this major studio they're an app that wants people to go to the app. That's all they want.
That's fair.
That's all they want.
That's fair.
Is people to click on their app and subscribe to them. That's all they want. So if you simplify it like that and you look at that's their only goal, why would you give somebody like me a special, right? When you can give somebody who comes built in with 10 million people that are going to watch this. It just doesn't make sense business-wise, which I get. I don't hold it against them. I think it's on us as artists to like, we got to elevate our brand we got to become the people that have the 10 million things. So it's all equal. That's one thing. I was like, there was a point where I was like, I just hope everyone goes viral. I hope everybody has 5 million followers. Because then you got to go back to the skill.
You got to go back to the skill.
If everybody has 5, as long as you have 5 million on me, you got something on me.
Yeah, because I feel like that's what it was. Like back in the day when a DJ, like that's what like Minnesota was for. Like the DJs, the tastemakers. They'd be like, okay, you know what? This is what's hot in the street.
You break a song. And it would look like you found it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you have an ear.
Yes.
That you know hits. You found it, and now you're giving it to your audience.
That's what HBO and Netflix used to be.
They're no longer that.
But also nowadays, I'm like, oh, somebody got a special. I'm not watching it.
They're no longer that, which is fine.
Yeah.
There was a time where I might have been more bitter about it, but now, like,
you don't need it.
I need it. Netflix, if you're listening, I need it. No, but I need it. But I'm just like, what am I? What am I going to be, a dinosaur? Am I going to go extinct? Like, you just adapt to the thing or quit.
That's true.
What are you going to do? You're going to sit here and complain? Oh, they didn't want to give me this. They didn't want to give me that. Why should they give me it?
They should, because the product. If the product is good, they should put the product on. That's how I see it. If you want to get the respect of the audience again, that's where you benefit. Like if I go like, yo, this person is dope. Like, there's people I think is dope, but like, let me highlight this person because
that's not how it works no more.
That's
crazy.
Tell
me who was the last comedian that Netflix broke? They don't break comedians.
They don't break them anymore.
No, they don't break them. They give specials to comedians who already have a massive following.
That's true.
Who come in with their built-in following that they know that worst case scenario, their following will watch it. And if your following is 5-10 million, that's a lot of people. Or they'll give a special to the legends, you know, the legend people who are on the thing. Or they'll give, you know, or that's really the only
the reason why it bothers me, because I feel like that is hurting comedy. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I'm in it for the long run. Like, I'm in it for the long run. And I've had, because of my path in comedy, I've already been at a point where, like I said, where I already seen when I started, comedians, my contemporaries kind of blow past me in like credits and what they're doing and stuff. And then I'll catch up and go by them.
Yeah.
So that's happening again. Like, now it's not even my contemporaries, like the younger guys who are like, who have 10 years on doing this, are getting the stuff. And a lot of them, they deserve it, you know, to get in these stuff. And I have the patience to know, but like, I do the work. So it's like, eventually, I don't know if it's going to be next year, in 5 years, in 10 years, maybe in 20 years, but eventually your work is going to be compared to mine.
Yes.
And you're going to see the difference. And not because I'm better than you or because I'm naturally gifted. I don't believe in this naturally gifted, just because I work harder than you.
Yeah, they said that it could always be too early, but could never be too late.
Right. I agree with that. I think that, look, Netflix, you know, I still love Netflix. I still love HBO. They didn't give me a special this time, but maybe, like, let's do a good job on this one. Maybe they'll give it to the next one. Some people are doing it vice versa. Some people got a Netflix special this year, but they're not going to get another one.
They're not going to get another one. Yeah.
So what's the difference? I'm still proud of the work I do. I'm still proud to have like respect from people like you and other comedians, people who respect from people who are in comedy and people who aren't still respecting stuff. And I'm very grateful for that. And I'm not going to sit back and wait for these big networks to be like, all right, Ian, it's your turn. I'm going to keep cranking them out. I just did my 5th Tonight Show 2 weeks ago. I got the special coming out. I'm already working on a new hour. My goal is I'll film again, maybe end of next year, film another one, see who wants that.
I got a question for you. Like, your material is a lot about relationships and stuff like that. Are you dating?
No.
I was reading in the article, you know, and the article said that you work on this craft so much that's hard for you to date. Is that what's getting in the way, or what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, your time, right? You don't have time. Like, I'm always traveling. I'm always on the road. I'm always like out and all. And also, I'm also like pretty open about this. I'm the kind of guy that one day I'm gonna post pictures from my wedding, and people are gonna be like, "What?
What the fuck?"
Yeah, like I
you keep it low key.
Yeah, I keep it private. But if you look at my page, everything is like, my page is only stand-up stuff. It's like,
that's true.
It's no family stuff. It's no, like, I have a big family who I spend a lot of time with. The Dominicans. We have parties. We just went to a baby shower the other day. Ended at 3 a.m.
That's some Dominican
shit. They had a theme of that.
3 a.m.
The baby shower.
Damn, that sounds good.
Yeah, it was
Coño, no me invitaste.
No, it was lit. But I don't post that. I don't post none of that. I don't post. This is a weird thing that we're in. Like, this thing of like getting, because people get into your lives and people get involved in shit that's like none of their business.
Yeah, it feels weird even posting somebody that's not, especially that you have like what, like almost 200,000, 200,000,
a little bit over 2, yeah,
over 200,000, bro. Like, that's still 200,000. You're gonna want to post somebody that you also gotta really be conscious. Like, do I want to put this person in a big old platform? This is a big platform.
I don't.
You see what I'm saying?
I don't want to put like a girlfriend on a platform for I think you're just setting yourself up to fail.
To fail, yeah.
I think you're just setting yourself up to fail. Like whenever I'm in a relationship, everybody who I care about knows I'm in a relationship because the girl is always with me at the stuff that matters.
Yeah.
Why do I have to like say it on the Tonight Show?
Yeah, I dated one girl. Like her and I used to do videos together, and then her and I broke up. And then when I talked to her again years later, she was telling me, "I am tired because people still ask me about you."
Yeah. No, yeah, bro. That's.
Do you see what Gadiel is doing?
Yeah. I also like that. I get embarrassed with shit like that too. Like I'm gonna post my girl, then people gonna DM me like, "Oh, well, I have her nudes." So I should have just kept this to myself. I think we all should do that. I think everybody like. I'm not saying lie about it. Like the people who are important in your life should know what your status is.
That's true.
But everyone, like respectfully, everyone who's a fan of my comedy is not like important people in my life.
Yes.
They're important in the sense that like I create work and jokes and art for them, but not important in the sense that they need to know my day-to-day.
That's true.
You know?
That's true.
Everything, man.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
I think we also grew up in an era that was like, you keep your private life private.
Exactly.
You don't have to tell everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah. You don't air out your
from like the J. Cole school. Like, who's J. Cole's wife?
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. He got a wife, he got kids. Nobody knows. He don't even have Instagram.
For real?
Yeah.
Shit.
I've seen him riding city bike in the city.
I heard.
And I've seen him at a comedy show. Like, I remember coming up, I saw him at an open mic one time. And you know why he went to the open mic?
Why?
It was like late. It was like 11:30 at night. He was just at an open mic, watching open mic comedy. J. Cole. And people asked him, like after, they was like, this was J. Cole, like when he was like popping. Like, he's still popping, but he was like, you know, and they asked him, why you at this open mic? And he said, I'm around the block at the studio working on my new album. And I had writer's block, and I just needed to get around like young artists creating just to like open up the motivation. So I just looked up an open mic, and this was here, so I came to the open mic to watch.
Oh, dope. I love that.
That's dope.
That's dope.
No one will question that J. Cole's like an artist. Like he's
a real one. Yeah. And his swag, everything has been like different, especially from the get-go. He's always been like that.
I think I'm more from that school of like in the sense of I really respect this thing that we do. I take it real seriously. I like to put in the work. I want people to enjoy it. Sometimes I say that at my shows. Like sometimes I'll end like that. Like before I do my my closing joke, like I'll ask the audience. I'm like, did everyone have a good time tonight? And generally, I mean, they always say yeah. I'm genuinely asking, but they always say yeah. And I'm like, good. Like I'm glad you had a good time. Like I know you paid money on your night, on your free night to come be entertained. And I hope that I was able to entertain you guys because that's what I do this for. Like I literally just say that.
That's deep.
Yeah, I say that. No joke, no nothing. And it is because if you see me, you know that like everything else is boom, 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 boom. And then right before I do my close, I'll stop and I'll be like, guys, did you guys have a good time? Like you guys, are we good? Like you guys felt like you got your money's worth? And if they say yeah, I'm like, all right, great. I want you guys to get your money worth. It's important to me that you guys feel like that. And I'm glad you do. And I'll do the closer now and I'll wrap it up.
Yeah, Mano, I want to thank you for coming. I know it was a trip. You came all the way from Queens.
Yeah, came to the Heights. But
I
appreciate you,
This is your home, brother.
This is the start of my my promo tour. You're the first podcast that I'm doing. So I'm sorry for everyone. Y'all going to see me on all these podcasts now because I'm promoting the special. But YouTube at Ian Lara Live. That's my Instagram, Ian Lara Live. The special's coming out November 7th at 7 p.m., I believe. Material Boy. It'll be streaming. Give it a thumbs up, please. Help the algorithm. Give it a thumbs up. Comment. If you don't have anything to comment, just simply write, I came from Gadiel's podcast.
Yes, right there. I came from Gadiel's podcast.
Gadiel's podcast brought me here. That's it.
You also have a plug in your podcast too.
And then once you watch a special, follow the page Ian Lara Live on YouTube. And I have my podcast called the Adulthood Podcast, which is me and my friend who's a DJ, just us trying to figure out life and all the weird shit that we go through. So check that out. But it's very important to me that if you guys like the special, if you love it, even if you think it's okay, comment that was okay. I'll take that. Comment that was okay. I'll take it. And if you love it, like give it a share. Share it on your Instagram. I have a bunch of clips that are going to be coming out. I hope those clips, do perform well. Just give it a thumbs up. And that's crazy because I feel like that's the easiest way to support. You want to support your people? I don't need your money. Don't even come to the show. You don't even have to buy a ticket. I want you to, but you don't have to. Give it a thumbs up. Like it and share it.
Me manda mi el dinero. Entonces, yo hit like for his video.
Thumbs up, share it, and just send me a DM and tell me what you
think. Yo, thank you guys for coming. Leave in the comments. Tell us what you think about the podcast today and this episode. And thank you guys for watching. Lo quiero mucho y la pase bien.